Welcome back. According to Workopolis, Canadians can expect to hold roughly 15 jobs in their lifetime. And if your New Year's resolution includes a career upgrade, there is a lot to consider.
Luckily for us, CTV News' chief financial commentator is here to help. Please welcome back to the show our good friend, Pattie Lovett Reid.
Thank you. Welcome back, Pattie.
Thank you. Thank you.
So when I was starting out my career years ago, I made a kind of bold leap to leave my position and accept a job that was not only less money, it was a lower title as well.
Ooh.
And I took the... It turned out okay. It turned out okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it was one of the best decisions of my career, but I'm curious, is this something that you would recommend? And are there certain, maybe, do you need to be in a certain financial position in order to do this? Although I was in no position, but anyway. Carry on.
Okay, you know what? Typically, I would say, you often want to advance your career, advance your compensation, look for the next move, build a stepping stone, build a resume. Having said that, if you wake up with a pit in your stomach every day, and I'm not talking the Sunday scaries. I mean, some people have that going back to work, but every day you really don't like it, then it's okay to go and say, I'm going to find something else, and I hope I'm going to build from there. But you know what? That money tucked aside, if you're going for less compensation and you're on your own, you better have a budget and some money set aside, 3 to 6 months living expenses, just so you adapt and transition. Okay. I want you to grow.
Thank you.
Okay. I mean, you're doing okay, but continue growing, yes.
On the flip side, Pattie, what if you're offered an upgrade in terms of title, but not in compensation? So you're given a fancy title, but no increase in pay.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
Right.
No.
Okay.
Okay, I am the president, I am the CEO and president of PJR Communications. Sounds impressive. I've never made a dime on that company. But you know what? No, people will throw out titles all the time. In companies, there'll be a street title, there'll be an in-company title, and they often do it as, you know, here's an incentive. No, what you care about is that your responsibilities grow, the job can continue to grow. People don't care about your title, they really don't. They want to know the value that you're going to bring to their organization, not a title you're going to bring to their organization.
Let's talk about professional networking. I think we think of this as a very important, almost crucial aspect of job hunting. But is there a time or, can it ever backfire when you're doing networking?
When you're out looking for a job?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you're looking for a job and you tell me and you ask me to keep it quiet, but I have a secret about you. Oh, I'm telling you, for sure. It's gonna happen. So you wanna keep your network really small. And when you have a job and you're out looking for a job, it's a full-time job. And so you have to allow for coffees and meeting and that sort of thing. So I keep the net really, really small. When you've exhausted that net, then you bring other people in and only tell those you really do trust. I wouldn't tell anyone if you were looking.
Okay, well, thanks.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Okay, so let's say you're interested in a job, but there's no job openings there.
Yeah.
What do you think about cold calls or cold emails?
Love.
Yeah?
You know why? Because, thank you. One person out there agrees with me. Thank you. Because here's the thing, often jobs are never posted. So someone may be thinking about a new show here, and I've been out there networking with them. This is my way of throwing it out there. I want Pattie for that job, because that's what happens. People know people, they know what they bring to the table, and they'll go to them first. And so, I don't care, a job may never be posted. If there's an organization I want to work for, I continue to reach out to them all the time.
Okay, so what if you're headhunted for a job?
Right.
And you accept that job? Or if you just go out and cold call and find another job, and then you go to your boss and say, okay, that's it, I'm leaving, thank you for your time, and you're given a counter offer. What then? What's the move, Pattie?
Thank you. And you know what? You know what? That's kind of tricky, because think about a relationship. You're in a relationship with someone and they say, I think I'm going to leave you, but maybe not. How do you feel around that trust? And so the same trust happens in a workplace. So if you and I are working together and you tell me this, I think later down the road, I wonder if Marcy's really going to leave, or if she's not. Maybe I should think about someone else. I would say 50% of employers out there will say, I'm okay with it. And the other will tell you they're okay with it, but in their back of their mind, they never get over it. So often when you're ready to go, you go. Thank you. I have one person in the audience working with me right there. She's right there. We're back and forth. Thank you. Well, but you do. You go.
come on over here, Patty.
Okay.
You want to continue this in your fake TV office? Here?
Actually, it's much nicer. I don't have an office.
Well,
Wow.
this you can use it anytime.
Wait, can I do this?
Let's say that networking has led to an interview.
Right.
And I often feel like there's a power imbalance in those interviews for the people sitting on this side.
Right.
It feels like we're begging to be hired instead of someone who comes to the table with telling you what we have to offer. So can that ever be remedied, that imbalance?
Okay, I'm not sure you're begging, but you might be begging, but you know what? I think what it is that you really want to work here. And so your resume has enticed me to sit down and talk to you. So I want you to be positive. I want you to share your strengths, your passion. I want you, even if you don't have all the qualifications, to tell me that no one will work harder for me than you will. But the power then starts to shift because then you've sold me.
Yeah.
And I want to hire you. Now you have to make sure that you have a lot of questions because you earned the right to say no to my offer. And if you don't like what we have to offer, if you don't like me as a potential boss, you know what? That's where it works both ways.
Okay, this is good. This is good.
Good
Okay,
info.
No, we always
Good info?
hear...
News you can use? Yeah, okay.
We always hear about sort of the common cliched interview questions.
Right.
Are those questions still asked today?
Always.
Really?
Always.
So that means we have to prepare for
One
them.
person in the audience said yes.
Oh
She's
my
been asked that too. No, people, yes, they get asked all the time. So when you're preparing for an interview, you want to think about all those questions. What was my greatest strength? Where did I have a great success? What do I wish I had done differently in the past? How do I like to be managed? You may not be asked those questions, but you better be prepared for them.
Okay, this is a big one, and I think especially for women, and I say that because the stats always show that when it comes to salary negotiation, women, we tend to just not do a great job to advocate for ourselves to get what we want in terms of the bottom line. So your best advice, Patty, we're all listening, to be able to negotiate the best salary in a variety of situations.
Never, ever, ever bring up salary in an interview process.
We don't.
You don't. You don't. And here's why. The one person that was agreeing with me disagrees on this one. No, here's why. Because you could be negotiating against yourself. I have seen it all too often when I'm a hiring manager where someone comes in and says, I want 70,000, and I think, this job only pays 50. Or I want 70, and wow, I was going to offer them 100. And so you don't negotiate. So the answer that you would give is, I'm going to ask you, what's your salary range? You're going to come back to me and you're going to say, well, you know what? I know you're going to be fair. Let's talk about salary down the road. For now, let's talk about the job. Let's make sure we're a good fit.
Okay, hold up.
That's
No.
good.
It's good. It's good.
I hear a but.
It's great advice. But let's say I already have a number in my mind.
That's okay.
And like, if you guys end up offering me something that's way beneath that, like, why am I even wasting our time? So
because you don't know. You don't know until you have an offer in front of you, and then you've earned the right to say, I am going to negotiate this. And then as an employer, I can say, all right, sell me on it. Why do you think you deserve that? And I've seen it happen on many occasions where 5, 10, 15, 30, 50,000, it's been added because you all of a sudden are bringing a lot more to a table than I ever realized. But on the other hand, you could say no. And by the way, when I ask you, what is your weakness? You better have an answer. Because we all have weaknesses. We all do.
Okay.
And so, I always try to play the funny, cute game and say, okay, you know what? I have a weakness. It's that I'm impatient. But you know what? That allows me to get things done. It means I have to slow down sometimes when the corporation. No, you know what? That's not a great answer. When they ask you what your weakness is, just be honest. They want to see how trustworthy you are and how you're going to communicate and how you're going to come across.
Okay. We love this, Patty. Thank you. Wow.
But you do get to talk money eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Okay. You can review all of Patty's tips on our website. That's thesocial.ca after the show. Happy negotiating. We'll be back right after this.